Typical. He's reviewing White Supremacy the game, better known as
Resident Evil 5.
Filthy White.
Das war ein Befehl!
After the events of Resident Evil 4, Chris Redfield, one of the main recurring characters in the franchise, is dispatched to Africa. He and his new partner Sheva Alamore are tasked with apprehending a bioterrorist named Ricardo Urban. But as you're in the process of completing your mission, you start to realize there's a lot more to than what was initially revealed behind the villain's sinister actions. Oh, I'm sorry, but the story is mind-bendingly boring. Which is a shame because from a technical perspective, the cutscenes are actually well shot. At least Resident Evil 4 was goofy from the get-go and was somewhat entertaining that way. And the thing is, Resident Evil 5 has its silliness. This jack-off is a Weasley little fucker, this cunt has a stupid accent, and Wesker is still trying to audition for the next Matrix movie. Newsflash. That series died for a reason.
Because it was smelly.
Sadly, the aforementioned wackiness doesn't help the story, primarily because our two leads are astronomically bland. Yes, I feel very emotionally invested. To make matters worse, the plot is just cliché.
I have no intention of setting it to terrorists.
Then what are you using it for?
Evolution.
The inevitable evolution of man. The next step in human progression. Can I stick this dildo so far up my ass it will eventually pierce my liver and make me shit myself? Find out on the next episode.
Surprisingly, the game still looks modern. It has all the visual flair you would expect. Good lighting, detailed character models, some really nice texture work, etc. Although there is this glitch whenever you turn the anti-aliasing feature on, it renders everything with outlines. Makes you feel like you're playing a really violent cartoon.
What's up, Doc?
But other than that, it looks amazing. It's pretty much a testament to Capcom because they used to make some really graphically outstanding games. Unfortunately, that's not very apparent to what they're doing now. What the fuck? In regards to art style, the game takes place in a modern setting, so there's not much room for creativity, thus making the monster designs the saving grace. The last thing I want to touch upon is the next-gen filter. I don't necessarily agree with it. You see, back in the day... Oh, who am I kidding? They still like to do it. A lot of game developers used to color correct their visuals, most likely to, in quotes, enhance the atmosphere. But all it does, it makes the colors look dull and washed out.
Oh wow, check your privilege, idiot.
Let's see here. Intense gun sounds? Check. Monsters make creepy noises? Check. Explosions sound fierce and destructive? Checkaroonies. A high-quality orchestral soundtrack with some ambient music to spice things up? Also check. The sounds of a police unit trying to break down my door because I've recently committed a hate crime? Maybe?
Nah, poopy. So, you guys wanna get some donuts? Owie.
Now talking about Resident Evil 5 is pretty much impossible without mentioning the fourth entry in the series. Resident Evil 4 was such a critically acclaimed game it only made sense for Capcom remaking it. Is laying waste to baddies still great fun? Yes, and then some. Is there a progression system for your weapons? You know it! Shit blows up? Oh hell yeah, dude! So what's not to like?
Men's asses!
Let's just say they got a bit too comfortable with retracing the same steps. The controls, albeit responsive, are dated. I know they're supposed to be this way to create tension and aching back to the franchise's survival horror roots, but this is no longer that. This is an action game. In what sort of horror survival game you have to gun down hordes of enemies? I mean, fuck's sake, you're even being estimated by how many dudes you've rounded every level. I'm not asking for versatile mobility options like the slide and Vanquish, just simple features like being able to walk while aiming, shooting, and reloading. But there are places where they did try to innovate or at least alter certain aspects. For instance, the inventory. They changed it alright, but I don't think it was a healthy change. Instead of having a spacious inventory that you have to manage, now it's a slot-based one. And yes, it's that tiny. There are moments where you have no room for ammo, herbs, or weapons you find in the wilderness, so you have to discard stuff. Supposedly they wanted to put more of an emphasis on survival this time around, but again, this is an action game. You're motivated to shoot bad guys, and for that to happen, you need guns and ammo. And yes, there is a stagger system where you can shoot foes in specific limbs to weaken them so you could run up and do a melee attack. Yes, it's effective when it comes to conserving ammunition, but in what sort of horror survival game do you use your massive steroid-induced arms to punch dudes to the moon? The implementation of a full-length cooperative campaign is fantastic, so long as you have a friend. If you don't, you'll be stuck with a tumorous AI partner that will do some of the stupidest things.
What the hell?
Oh, she can kill people. She can mix herbs, but she can also casually walk into a crowd of enemies, or step into a line of an incoming solar beam, or end up using all of your healing items because she can't avoid damage for shit. Bitch, I fucking need those. This is my last complaint, I promise. There are some levels that are not very fun to go through, like the turret ones. They're just Plus, there are 2 boss fights that you have to do while you're on a Gatling gun, which makes it even more The really annoying part is that 1/4 of the campaign is just garbo. Oh, you enjoyed fighting all those hobo zombies? Well, hope you like Gears of War, but instead of putting it politely on your plate, we're gonna ram it down your fucking throat. Shit! Your game was not built around cover-based shooting. It's most fun when you're basically almost in melee range, shooting, staggering, and sucker punching assholes in the face. And with this, the gameplay just slows down to a crawl. Plus, it doesn't help that the environment you're in during these parts is uninspired. Earlier we were navigating through rundown streets of Africa and it was decently atmospheric. Now we're too busy trying to Call of Duty our way through a generic industrial complex.
God f***ing damn it!
Alright, I think I'm done shitting on this game, because honestly there's some really good stuff about it. The campaign is relatively long. It took me 10 hours or so to finish it on Veteran, and like I've mentioned, if you have a buddy, you're going to have a blast. The game contains a lot of replay value as well. You attain new guns, costumes, additional gameplay modes, and the bonus content actually fixes some of the issues. For instance, the unlockable weapon modifiers that give you infinite ammo alleviate the inventory problem. When you have all of your firearms fully upgraded, the AI doesn't have enough time to get Bukkaki'd on because you're killing zombies at a faster rate. So the game gets better the more you play it. The only irritating part about that is that you have to get to it first. I might have come off as being overly negative about Resident Evil 5.
Fucking thing sucks!
But my main gripe with the game is that it was trying to be 2 things simultaneously. If you want to make an action game, then make an action game. And if you want to make a horror game, then make a horror game. But the thing is, it's still worth your money, especially now when it's 28 euros. However, if this was at full price, I'd say skip it. Or go buy some booze and drugs so you forget your family and friends don't care about you, so you don't kill yourself!
Filthy white.